Do you understand how much power you give away every time you snap in anger? Think about it. Someone says something to provoke you, they throw shade, they insult you, they push your buttons, and instantly you explode. You raise your voice. Your heart races. Your peace is gone. And for what? For them. Because that was the plan all along. They wanted you angry. They wanted the meltdown. They wanted proof they could pull your strings. Let me tell you something essential. Anger is the easiest thing in the world to provoke, and that's why manipulators love it. They don't need to be stronger, smarter, or more talented. They just need to know how to get under your skin. And the truth is, many people are addicted to seeing others lose control. It makes them feel powerful, because if they can steer your emotions, they control your actions. And here's the contrast. They win when you react, but you win when you stay calm. Anger is their strategy, but calmness is your weapon. Your competitors, your critics, even people close to you, all of them at some point will want to see if they can rattle you. They'll throw attacks not because of what you did wrong, but because of how much it empowers them to see you spiral. You've got to recognize that game for what it is, a trap. And the only way to dismantle a trap is not to step into it. When you are calm, you starve them. They come with chaos, but you bring stillness. They expect fire and fury, but you give them silence. Do you know how devastating that is to those who feed on drama? It destroys them. Not because you fought back harder, but because you didn't fight at all. Look around. The loudest people in the room are hardly ever the most powerful. Noise is a mask. Chaos is bait. The ones with real authority? They rarely scream because they don't need to. Calmness is not weakness. Calmness is unshakable control. And in a world addicted to reaction, the one who can stand still is the one who commands respect. Here's what you've got to remember. Every reaction is expensive. When you get angry, you pay in peace. You pay in dignity. You pay in opportunities missed because you couldn't keep your focus. But when you remain calm, you keep every piece of power for yourself. You protect your energy. You hold your respect, and most importantly, you remain unpredictable. Nothing shakes people more than someone they can't get a rise out of. Think about lions. Do lions chase down every bark and yelp of smaller animals? No. They walk steady, they conserve energy, and that composure is what makes them kings. How do you think people view you when you let insults send you into frenzy? They don't see strength, they see vulnerability. But when you look someone in the eyes who tried to bait you and you don't flinch, that image burns itself into their mind. It terrifies them. That's why your calm destroys them, because it shows them something they were never prepared for. You're not controllable anymore. Every manipulator has the same pattern. They test, they poke, they provoke. They're searching for openings, weaknesses, triggers. Every time you take the bait, you confirm what they suspected. Push them here, and I own them. But the moment they push and nothing changes, when they try and you don't break, they're thrown into confusion. Their strategy collapses. They can't adjust because their whole power was based on you exploding. Anger is their battlefield. Stay calm and you drag them out of their comfort zone. Think about it. Angry people act without clarity. Calm people see everything. Angry people burn out energy. Calm people conserve it. Angry people fight blindly. Calm people choose their timing. Which do you think wins long term? Whenever someone is trying to provoke you, picture this truth. They are feeding off your reaction. If they get you hyper angry, fighting, they're energized. If you stay calm, dignified, silent, you've just cut off their oxygen supply. You destroyed them without lifting a finger. They want you fiery, but you stay ice. They want noise, but you stay silent. They want war, but you stay in peace. And that contrast is devastating, because now they don't just lose control, they lose purpose. You've got to train yourself for this. Calmness isn't always automatic, it's built. You've got to learn to pause before you react. Breathe before you speak. Remind yourself, my energy is mine, and no one can steal it without my permission. When you build that pause, that sacred gap between what they do and how you respond, You own your future. That pause is where you build your discipline. That pause is where you dismantle their strategy. And I promise you, the more you practice calmness, the stronger it becomes. What used to provoke you stops mattering. What used to hurt you loses its sting. And suddenly, you look back and see how far you've come, and you'll notice people around you looking at you differently, too. Respected voices know this. The one who isn't easily rattled is the one people turn to when storms hit. That's the space you want to occupy. Not the screaming match, not the chaotically reactive crowd. You want to be the anchor, the quiet storm, the steady mountain that others lean on. This is how you separate yourself from the majority, because the majority are predictable. They pop off, they yell, they fight for crumbs. But you hold. You calculate. You disrupt the cycle by not feeding into it. And disruption is what destroys them. Imagine them expecting you to retaliate, rehearsing what they'll say after your explosion, only for you to smile, nod, walk away. The silence they are left with will eat them alive. That image of you unshaken will replay in their mind long after the moment is gone. That is psychological dominance. And that power, it costs you nothing but restraint. So remember always, they want you angry, because angry you is weak. Angry you is easily controlled. Angry you loses sight of the bigger game. But your calm, it confuses them, it frustrates them, it exposes them. Your calm is not passive, it's active strength. And when you carry it like a shield, you'll realize just how many doors open when everyone else loses control and you remain still. Here's a truth most people never learn. Anger is the mask that covers fear. When people try to make you angry, it's not really about you, it's about them. It's about their insecurity, their lack of control, their need for validation through your reaction. Think about it. If someone constantly tries to irritate you, to poke at your peace, why do they do it? Because their own life is chaos. And when you remain calm, you become the mirror that reflects everything they're trying to avoid seeing in themselves. That's why they hate your calm. That's why it bothers them when you don't lash out. Because your composure reminds them they don't have any. Your peace is proof of what they could have had if they had chosen discipline instead of drama. That silent reminder, it eats them alive. The contrast between their noise and your peace is not just visible, it's undeniable. They scream, you smile. They provoke, you pause. They accuse, you stay still. And in every one of those moments, the balance of power shifts further into your hands. Calmness is not passive, it's disruptive. It destroys their playbook. They built their entire strategy around you reacting, and when you refuse, they have nothing left. Have you ever noticed how much energy is wasted in pointless arguments? People go back and forth for hours, draining themselves, defending, insulting, proving nothing but pettiness. And yet one person staying calm often ends the whole spectacle. Why? Because calm exposes chaos. Calm is clarity, and clarity crushes confusion. The person who cannot trigger you has no control over you. Read that again, because that's the key most people miss. If they can't push your buttons, they can't manipulate your decisions. If they can't force you into anger, they can't steer your outcomes. Which means your calm does more than protect your mood, it protects your destiny. There's immense strength in walking away from bait, in refusing to show your emotions to those who haven't earned the right to see them, in choosing silence where others would choose screaming. Every time you choose calm, you are teaching people, my energy is not yours to play with. My mind is not your property. My mood is not your toy. That is the posture of someone untouchable. And here's what happens when you develop that discipline. You rise above the need to prove yourself. The old version of you wanted to clap back, wanted to prove your worth, wanted to shout your value, but the upgraded version understands that true strength announces itself without words. Its presence, its posture, its composure. You don't beg for respect anymore. You embody it. And that embodiment destroys them because it shows them they never had power, only access. And now that access is closed, calm is not giving up. Calm is not letting them win. Calm is winning at the highest level because it proves you're no longer fighting small battles for small things. Your mission is bigger. Your purpose is higher. Your vision is greater. They wanted you distracted, but you stayed aligned. They wanted you emotional, but you stayed strategic. They wanted chaos, but you stayed unshaken. And in the end, who really looked stronger? So, the next time someone tries to bait you, whether it's in traffic, at work, or even at home, ask yourself, who owns this moment? Me or them? If you explode, you hand it over. If you stay calm, you keep it. And every moment you keep reinforces the identity of someone who cannot be rattled, cannot be manipulated, cannot be controlled. Let me tell you something. Calm is contagious. When you stay calm in chaos, people notice. Some are intimidated, others inspired, but all of them remember it. They remember the one person who kept their head when everyone else lost theirs. That is the mark of a winner. That is the mark of a leader. That is why staying calm doesn't just destroy your enemies, it builds your legacy. So stop giving them what they want. Stop making anger your language. Stop handing over rent-free space in your head to people who don't even matter. From this moment forward, choose your stillness. Guard your peace. Protect your calm as if it were gold, because it is. And every time they try to provoke you and fail, every time they push and you don't move, every time they expect an explosion and get silence instead, you'll see it. You'll see the frustration, the confusion, the collapse of their control. That right there is proof your calm is not weakness. It is dominance, quiet, strategic, devastating. They want you angry. Don't give them that satisfaction. Stay calm, stay untouchable, and watch how your calm doesn't just protect you, it destroys them.